The idea of planning a church came to me actually when I transferred colleges from a school in California to the University of Iowa. And this rowdy group of college students called the Salt Company that were living on mission for Jesus here. People were coming to know the Lord. This family was living on mission together. What God was doing in Iowa City was amazing, but there was always a piece of me that was wondering, like, would God send us back?
You know, here we are at Veritas. Our passion is to raise up the next generation and send them out. And in 2012, this guy, Ryan, jumps into our college ministry, and it was really cool. God had put on his heart a passion to plant churches, and specifically out west. He has this desire, but he's a young man who needs experience. He's single. Ryan needed a wife that was going to be all in on the mission to go serve Jesus with him.
I lived out in Los Angeles for a couple years after college, and I just remember feeling the tension of loving the city and also feeling the brokenness. I remember just asking the Lord if we could just draw a circle over Iowa City and just plant it out in California. Years later, when Ryan entered the picture, and I kind of explained that idea, he just said, yeah, I think that's a church plant.
About 30 years ago, my sister moved to California. She got married, has raised her family out there. And I'm sitting down on campus there in Isla Vista with my nephew, and he just looks at me and he says, Uncle Mark, I don't think this whole Salt Company thing's gonna work here at UCSB. And to me, I think he was basically saying, I totally think you guys should plant a church here in California.
We went on a vision trip to Santa Barbara, and we walked around UCSB's campus, and we walked around Del Playa Street, the biggest party street maybe in the country, and saw house party after house party with just thousands of people outside living for the world, and we saw a huge need in Santa Barbara. I've been able to see that working alongside Ryan in the college ministry over the last 7 years at the University of Iowa. I've been able to see God's power, that he can bring people from death to life.
Deuteronomy 6 has been a passage that's been coming back to us over and over again, right? God's sending his people into this land that they didn't conquer. And he says, hey, when you get there, remember, you don't get to take any credit for this. You're gonna be living in houses you didn't build, eating from gardens that you didn't plant, drinking from wells that you didn't dig. Remember, it was me who did this. One of the most obvious ways that we've seen God go ahead of us is people with the same heart to reach the next generation in Santa Barbara.
So while we were on our vision trip, we went over to our friends, Kyler and Candace, the Gabriels, went over to their house. Kyler, the Lord brings him to Iowa, meets his wife, meets us, moves back, is raising his family, living on mission there, and here we are having a worship night in his living room. It was just a glimpse of what the Lord's already doing there and what he's gonna continue to do.
So as we step out in faith, I just wanna make 3 asks of you. 1, would you pray for us? Like, we're setting out to do something that we can't do on our own power. We need God. 2, is God stirring in you to move? Like, are you enticed by this? Like, do you want to get in on this with us? And 3, would you consider giving financially? This isn't a cheap endeavor, but we know one thing: God owns everything. And if he's called us into this adventure, he's gonna provide for us in that. And when he does, we're gonna be able to look back and say, to God alone be the glory.